Each morning, when the world is still quiet, before noise seeps into your thoughts, speak to yourself, not just with words, but with presence. The dawn is not only a beginning of the day, it is a gate through which your energy, mindset, and spirit enter the battlefield of life. What you tell yourself in that silent moment matters. It shapes not just what you do, but who you become. Tell yourself first, I am here. This affirmation grounds you, not in your past mistakes, not in your future anxieties, but in the now. The present is your sword, your breath, your only truth. When your mind tries to drift into regrets or fears, come back. Return to this, I am here. Let it become your inner root. Then remind yourself, my breath is my power. Before any step is taken, before any thought is formed, your breath sustains you. It is the rhythm of life within you. Slow it down, feel it. Breathe as if each inhale wakes the soul and each exhale releases the noise. In your breath lives your power to control how you meet the chaos outside. Say, I carry peace within me. Peace is not found in perfect conditions. It is born in you through discipline. You are not the noise of others. You are not the chaos of the world. You are the stillness in the center of the storm. Claim it each morning. Choose it before the day tries to make you forget. Speak gently, I am enough for this moment. In a world that profits from your self-doubt, you must remind yourself, you lack nothing. Growth is not the opposite of worth. You can strive to become more while already being enough. Don't chase validation like a beggar. Walk as a master in your own mind. Tell yourself, I will not carry what does not belong to me. The burdens, opinions, and energies of others, these are not your weight to bear. Every morning, shed them. You are not here to be a container for everyone's struggles. Learn to release what is not yours. Walk light or your spirit will grow heavy. Say, I choose discipline over comfort. The easy road leads nowhere worth going. Comfort seduces the mind and weakens the spirit. Discipline sharpens the blade of your soul. It is through repeated effort, not wishful thinking, that greatness emerges. Train your mind, train your body, train your spirit. Every single day, say this with force, today I protect my energy. Your energy is sacred. Guard it. Not everyone is meant to walk beside you. Some people drain, some thoughts distract, some environments suffocate. Be wise in what you allow. Set boundaries, not to offend others, but to protect your own flame from dimming. Speak this truth. My path is mine. Comparison is a poison. You are not behind. You are not ahead. You are exactly where your steps have brought you. The only person you need to be better than is who you were yesterday. Walk your path without envy. Run your race without distraction. Affirm, I rise with intention. Let each action today be born from clarity, not impulse. Don't stumble through the hours in reaction. Choose how you move. Choose what you say. Choose how you respond. Even if the day is chaotic, you can move like water, calm, clear, and unstoppable. Declare it, I am responsible for my state. No one can give you lasting peace. No one can fix your mind but you. You are the gatekeeper of your emotions, the sculptor of your reactions. Do not hand over that responsibility to anyone. Own it, master it, live by it. Finally, whisper this. Today is a chance to begin again. No matter what happened yesterday, this morning is untouched. This breath is clean. This moment is new. You are not your mistakes. You are not your past. You are a being in motion. Today is a chance, not for perfection, but for progress. Take it. Each day begins not with the rising sun, but with the awareness you bring to it. Before the world makes a single demand of you, your first responsibility is to yourself. To anchor, to center, to arrive. When you wake up, your mind often wants to race. Thoughts about what needs to be done, what went wrong yesterday, or what might go wrong today. That is the moment to stop everything and remind yourself, I am here. This simple sentence is not small. It is a declaration of presence. It calls your attention from the scattered corners of the mind back into this single, unrepeatable moment. Grounding yourself is not a ritual. It is a necessity. Just like you wouldn't begin a physical journey without first knowing where you stand, you shouldn't begin a day without locating yourself mentally and spiritually. To be grounded means to be aware of your inner state, your breath, your body, your thoughts, and how they all interact before the world interacts with you. Without this awareness, you drift. You become reactive, vulnerable to every word, every noise, every shift in the energy of others. But when you are grounded, you become steady like a mountain. The winds may blow, but you do not fall. One of the simplest ways to anchor yourself in the present is to bring your awareness to your body. Feel your feet touching the ground or your back supported by the surface behind you. Feel the air filling your lungs. These are not just physical sensations. They are the language of presence. Your body always exists in the now. It is the mind that tries to escape. By grounding into the body, you pull your awareness out of the imagined and back into the real. This is not a practice reserved for monks or mystics. It is for you every day. You may notice resistance. The mind doesn't like stillness at first. It wants to solve, to worry, to predict. But you must take control gently, with intention. You do this not by force, but by consistency. The more you return to presence, the more natural it becomes. It is like training a muscle. Every morning, when you remind yourself that you are here, fully and without judgment, you reclaim a piece of your power that the world tries to steal. Grounding is not escape from reality. It is the deepest entry into it. In this state, you don't just go through your morning. You experience it fully. The texture of water on your face, the warmth of sunlight through the window, the quiet strength in your breath, all of it becomes part of your awakening. You realize that life is not found in the big events or future achievements, but in these small, present moments that most people overlook. You are not missing your life when you ground yourself. You are finally living it. The breath is the most constant companion of your life, yet it is also the one most often taken for granted. It arrives with you when you enter this world, and it leaves when your time is done. In between, it is the silent guide, always present, always faithful, always honest. To recognize that your breath is your power is to awaken a force that not only sustains your body, but governs your mind and emotions. When everything around you feels out of control, your breath remains the one thing that is always within your grasp. The way you breathe is the way you live. Each inhale draws energy into your system, not only in the form of oxygen, but also as a signal to your nervous system. A deep, calm breath tells your body that you are safe, that there is no need for panic. Each exhale is a release, a softening, a letting go of tension and fear. If your breath is shallow, fast, or erratic, your inner world begins to mirror that. But when you intentionally slow it down, deepen it, and become aware of its rhythm, you begin to change not only your physiology, but your perception of the moment. To make your breath your power, you must treat it as your ally. At the start of the day, before you speak to others or check your devices, speak to your breath, observe it, let it become full and steady. Breathe with the awareness that each breath is a choice, a conscious act of returning to yourself. With each inhale, gather focus and strength. With each exhale, release distractions, doubts, and all that is no longer needed. This exchange is not symbolic, it is transformative. You don't need complicated techniques. You need sincerity. A few slow, mindful breaths in the morning can set the entire tone for your day. When you own your breath, you own your reactions. You no longer need to be a victim of circumstance or emotion. If someone speaks harshly, if a problem arises, if the day becomes stormy, return to your breath, one breath in, one breath out. This is how warriors prepare. This is how the mind is trained. You do not fight chaos with more chaos. You meet it with centered calm, and your breath is the gateway to that calm. What you train in silence becomes your strength in noise. Your breath teaches you presence, balance, and patience. It gives you the ability to pause between stimulus and response, to act instead of react. In that pause is your freedom. In that pause is your power, and you have access to it always. Whether you are walking, sitting, working, or resting, your breath is with you. Do not ignore it. Embrace it as your constant, your fuel, your grounding force. Through breath, you return to truth. Through breath, you align with your center. Through breath, you remember who you are. Peace is not something that waits for you at the end of a successful day. It does not hide in perfect conditions or arrive only when the people around you behave how you wish. True peace is not earned from the outside. It is cultivated from within. When you choose peace each morning, you are not ignoring the chaos of the world. You are deciding not to let that chaos own you. You are not responsible for the noise of the world, but you are responsible for whether or not that noise finds a home in your heart. When you wake up, your mind may already be running, thinking about deadlines, worries, relationships, or regrets. Before you let any of it take root, you must create space for peace. This space is built through awareness, through intention, and through the refusal to be pulled into what you cannot control. You do not need to silence the world. You only need to create silence within yourself. This is where peace lives, not in the absence of problems, but in the presence of clarity. Cultivating peace is not weakness. It is strength disguised as softness. It means you do not react just because someone else is angry. It means you do not fall apart when plans change. It means you do not attach your stability to things that shift. Instead, you anchor yourself in something deeper, something that doesn't change based on the hour, the news, or another person's mood. This kind of peace cannot be stolen. It must be surrendered, and when you choose to keep it, it becomes your shield. This peace comes from understanding that you are not your thoughts. You are the one observing them. You are not your emotions. You are the one who experiences them. By stepping back, even for a breath, and watching instead of reacting, you reclaim the space between stimulus and response. That space is sacred. In it, you choose how to meet life. In it, you stop being a puppet pulled by strings of emotion. In it, you become the master of your inner world. Each morning, remind yourself that peace is your starting point. Not because everything is calm, but because you choose to be calm in the middle of everything. People will bring their storms. The day may bring challenges, but your inner weather is yours to govern. This is not avoidance. It is mastery. It does not mean pretending things are fine. It means you face them without becoming them. Your peace protects your focus. Your peace amplifies your intuition. Your peace brings clarity when confusion tries to take over. If you lose it, return to it, not with judgment, but with the knowing that peace is never far. It lives just beneath the surface of your breath, your awareness, your stillness. You do not need to look for peace as if it's missing. You need only uncover it from beneath the weight of thoughts, fear, and noise. When you realize this, the world no longer controls your inner state. You do. There is a quiet war being fought inside every person each day. A war between the desire to grow and the need to be accepted. Between striving for more and believing you are already enough. The world around you constantly whispers that you must prove your worth, improve your image, achieve more, look a certain way, Be something greater than what you are now. But in the morning, before those voices get too loud, you must remind yourself, you are already enough for this moment. Being enough doesn't mean you stop growing. It means that your foundation is solid. You are not building from emptiness or trying to fix something broken. You are not a project that needs to be repaired. You are a whole being, alive in this moment, capable of change not because you are unworthy, but because you recognize your potential. When you acknowledge that you are enough, you remove the chains of desperation. You stop chasing approval like a thirsty wanderer in a desert of opinions. This mindset doesn't make you arrogant. It makes you grounded. It allows you to approach life with calm confidence, not fragile pride. You are not trying to become something so you can finally feel good enough. You are growing because you already value who you are. That is the difference between insecurity and self-respect. The insecure strive to prove, the grounded seek to express. One is fueled by fear, the other by peace. When you truly believe you are enough, you stop comparing your journey to anyone else's. The race disappears. You begin to see others not as threats, but as fellow travelers. Their success does not diminish yours. Their beauty does not take away your light. Their gifts do not mean you are lacking. From this place, you move with authenticity. You speak with clarity. You make decisions not to impress, but to align. This inner affirmation becomes your armor. When someone doubts you, it doesn't shake you. When the day doesn't go your way, it doesn't define you. You do not attach your worth to your wins or losses. You stay rooted in the understanding that your value is constant. It is not given by titles, likes, wealth, or status. It is yours simply because you are alive and aware. That alone is powerful. Each morning, speak this truth into yourself. Let it cut through the noise of self, doubt, and societal pressure. Look at yourself not through a lens of what you lack, but through the lens of what you carry. Your resilience, your breath, your awareness, your growth, these are not small things. These are signs that you are already more than enough to face whatever comes. You do not need to earn your right to be here. You are already worthy of taking up space, of speaking your truth, of living with intention. Start the day from that place and everything changes. Not because the world changes, but because your relationship with it does. There is a quiet weight many carry every day, an invisible heaviness that does not belong to them. It comes in the form of others' expectations, unresolved emotions, toxic attachments, and the silent pressure to please or fix what cannot be fixed. You wake up, and even before the day begins, you may already feel tired. Not because your body lacks rest, but because your spirit is burdened with what was never meant to be yours. Each morning, you must remind yourself with clarity and strength, I will not carry what does not belong to me. This is not coldness or selfishness. This is wisdom. This is preservation of your energy, your clarity, and your life. You are not responsible for the emotions others refuse to manage. You are not the container for their anger, their fear, their blame. You can have compassion without becoming a dumping ground. You can be supportive without losing your own stability. Learning this boundary is not easy, but it is necessary if you want to move through life with strength instead of silent exhaustion. Every day, you will be met with opportunities to take on what's not yours. A friend who projects their pain onto you. A coworker who blames you for their failure. A stranger's bad mood that somehow unsettles your peace. These are invitations, but they are not commands. You can see their suffering and still say to yourself, I did not cause this, and I do not have to carry it. Their pain is real, but their weight is not mine. This mindset requires constant awareness. It is easy to fall into the pattern of fixing, pleasing, absorbing. especially if you were raised to believe that love means sacrifice, or that your worth comes from how much you can carry. But your soul was not built to be a storage unit for others' pain. You are here to express your light, not dim it under the shadows of other people's storms. The first step is recognition. When you feel heavy, pause and ask, is this weight mine? Did I create it? Is it aligned with my truth? If the answer is no, gently but firmly let it go. You are not abandoning others by choosing to protect your energy. In fact, you serve them more by remaining whole, present and clear. A burn, doubt light cannot guide anyone. A fractured soul cannot support another. You are allowed to feel deeply and still walk away. You are allowed to set limits. You are allowed to say no to guilt, no to manipulation, no to false responsibility. You are not a savior, and you are not a sponge. You are a being with limits, and those limits are sacred. They are what allow you to sustain your strength and continue your path without falling under unnecessary burdens. Each morning, set this intention. Carry only what is yours. Let go of what is not. Walk light, breathe freely, and remember, your energy is too valuable to be wasted on what was never yours to hold. Every morning, there is a subtle choice that shapes the trajectory of your entire day. The choice between discipline and comfort. Comfort whispers to you, telling you to stay in bed longer, delay your responsibilities, postpone your goals. It seduces you with ease, but it costs you the deeper satisfaction of growth. Discipline, on the other hand, speaks quietly and firmly. It reminds you of your purpose, your vision, and the strength waiting within you. Discipline is not harsh. It is the deepest act of self-respect. There is a misunderstanding that discipline is punishment or deprivation. But in truth, discipline is devotion. It is devotion to who you are becoming. It is the agreement you make with yourself every day to show up, even when motivation is absent. Anyone can act when things feel easy. Discipline is what allows you to act when things are uncomfortable, uncertain, or inconvenient. That is when character is formed. Discipline is not about doing more. It is about doing what matters most with consistency and focus. It is not rigid. It is intentional. It gives you structure, not limitation. Without discipline, your potential remains untapped, buried beneath distractions and excuses. But when you embrace discipline, even in small ways, you build something powerful inside yourself. Trust. Trust that you will keep your word to yourself. Trust that you will follow through. Trust that you are not dependent on how you feel in the moment to determine your actions. Each morning, the decision to rise with discipline is a victory. It might seem small, waking up early, moving your body, preparing your day with clarity, but these small acts create momentum. Discipline is built in the repetition of these daily choices. The more you practice it, the less effort it takes. It becomes who you are, not just what you do. Over time, you stop negotiating with the voice of laziness. You stop giving energy to the habits that keep you stagnant. Discipline is not cold. It is a form of love. Love for your future self. Love for the life you know you're meant to live. It teaches you patience because real growth does not come overnight. It teaches you humility because progress requires persistence. And it teaches you freedom, not the freedom of doing whatever you want, whenever you want, but the freedom of no longer being controlled by momentary cravings and self-sabotage. You must understand that comfort, though seductive, rarely leads to fulfillment. It dulls your edges, numbs your instincts, and makes you forget what you are capable of. But discipline sharpens your mind, strengthens your will, and reminds you of your power. It is the quiet fire that burns in the background of greatness. So each day, ask yourself, will I honor my comfort or will I honor my calling? Will I choose short-term ease or long-term mastery? This is not about forcing yourself. It is about aligning with the deepest part of you that knows growth demands discipline. Progress demands discipline, and the life you truly desire cannot be built on anything less. Every person you encounter carries their own energy. Some of it is nourishing, calm, focused, light. Some of it is heavy, chaotic, draining, unclear. And in a world so full of noise and demands, your energy is your most sacred resource. It fuels your thoughts, shapes your actions, and defines how you respond to life. When your energy is scattered, everything becomes harder. Your decisions, your emotions, your ability to stay present. That is why each morning, before the world reaches for you, you must decide what you will allow into your space and what you will not. Protecting your energy is not selfish, it is necessary. It means understanding that you are not obligated to open your mind and heart to everything and everyone. You get to choose who has access to your peace. You get to decide what kind of thoughts, conversations, environments, and behaviors you will allow into your life. This is not about judgment, it is about discernment. Not everything that comes to you is meant for you. Not everyone who wants your attention deserves your presence. Boundaries are the expression of self-respect. When you draw a line, not out of anger, but out of clarity, you create a structure that supports your growth. Without boundaries, your energy leaks. You give too much. You react too often. You feel pulled in every direction. But when you set intentional boundaries, you begin to preserve what is essential. You begin to live from your center, instead of constantly reacting to what is outside of you. The more in tune you are with your energy, the more quickly you notice when something is off. A conversation that leaves you anxious, a place that drains you, a task that doesn't align with your purpose. These signals are not inconveniences, they are guidance. They show you where your alignment is lost. Protecting your energy means listening to those signals and making the necessary adjustments, even if they are uncomfortable. Even if others don't understand. You are not meant to be accessible at all times. You are not a machine designed to respond to every message, fix every problem, or absorb every emotion around you. You are a human being with a limited amount of time, focus, and vitality. When you give those away carelessly, you lose the ability to give meaningfully. But when you protect your energy, you give with purpose. You serve from a place of fullness, not depletion. This practice begins in the morning. It begins with how you speak to yourself, how you breathe, how you move, and what you consume. It begins with saying no to distractions, no to unnecessary obligations, no to the things that do not support your path. Protecting your energy is not about avoiding difficulty. It's about being intentional with your strength so that you can face the right challenges with power rather than being worn down by the wrong ones. Let your energy become your compass. Where it flows, life grows. Where it is misused, resistance builds. You have the power to guide that flow. You have the right to protect it fiercely, not because you are fragile, but because you are focused. Not because you are cold, but because you are clear. This is how you stay aligned. This is how you preserve the fire inside. Gratitude is not reserved for perfect moments. It is not something to wait for until the day has gone exactly as planned, or until success has been achieved, or peace has arrived. Gratitude is a discipline, a mindset, a lens through which you see the world not as something owed to you, but as something gifted. Each breath, each sunrise, each challenge even, holds within it a message to wake up and say, thank you. Even before the day has shown you what it will become, is an act of trust, a silent affirmation that you understand the power of perspective. When you start the day with gratitude, you change the way your mind processes everything that follows. Challenges become opportunities to grow. Delays become reminders to slow down. People's flaws become windows into their humanity. You stop asking why things happen to you and begin seeing what they might be trying to teach you. This shift isn't magic. It's awareness. It's presence. And it is built each time you pause to recognize what is already working, already beautiful, already enough. Gratitude doesn't require a grand list. It can be found in the smallest details. The warmth of your tea, the strength of your legs, the air entering your lungs, the quiet of the early morning. When you learn to see these things, not with boredom but with reverence, you begin to realize that joy is always available, even when happiness feels far away. Gratitude doesn't mean ignoring difficulty. It means choosing not to let difficulty blind you to everything else. It also rewires the way you experience yourself. Instead of waking up and immediately listing your shortcomings or what is missing, gratitude reminds you of your resilience, your growth, your effort. You begin the day not from lack, but from abundance. And from abundance, you make better choices. You speak with more kindness. You move with more patience. You work with more presence. This becomes your internal wealth, and it cannot be taken by circumstance. Gratitude is also a form of humility. It is the acknowledgement that you do not control everything, and that is okay. There is a greater rhythm at play. When you express thanks, you align yourself with that rhythm. You soften the grip of ego and expectation. You make space for life to unfold as it needs to without forcing it to fit your design. In doing so, you create room for peace, not because everything is perfect, but because you are no longer fighting against what is. Make this a morning ritual, not something you do only when things are easy, but especially when they're not. When the mind wants to rush, when the emotions feel heavy, when doubt creeps in, that is the moment to pause and return to what is real. And what is real is this: there is always something to be grateful for, even if it's just the chance to begin again, even if it's just the lesson hidden within the discomfort, even if it's simply being here, alive, aware, and open to whatever comes next.